Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, as our buddy Chris Wood escorts us in. Welcome in to the Grandpa and Pappy Show for a Friday edition as we get ready to usher in the weekend together.
The boy can pick.
That boy can pick, and we're going to have him on our show sometime in the not-too-distant future.
Upcoming
hopefully.
soon.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. This guy has a unique story, and he not only picks and grins really well.
He's an artist,
but
guitar. He's a luthier. He builds a lot of guitars.
That's correct.
A lot of them.
He sure does.
Boy's talented.
He sure does. But anyway, welcome in, everyone, to the Grandpa and Pappy Show, Friday edition. It's good to have you.
Yep.
As of right now, we really don't know who the president of the United States is going to be.
We're taking odds, though.
And we're not even going to talk about politics today.
Or the Dallas Cowboys.
Or the Dallas Cowboys. We don't want to deflate anyone's balloons.
Had enough damn depression this week.
Ain't that the
Tired
truth?
of sitting on the edge. We'll talk about something a little more happier.
Yes, we are. We ask you a simple question. Excluding your parents, who's the person who influenced you the most?
Well,
Yeah. And as usual, Pappy, they have just really come through.
and what's that answer? Your answer to that?
Well, my answer is very simple. It was three people. It was Miss Audie Shiflett, Coach Gerald Santilli, and Coach Robert Wyman. They influenced me a lot.
What about you, Special K? Besides me, who influences you the most?
Yeah, you got to quit that too, because she is really getting hard to live with. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? I had a gymnastics coach, but for the life of me, I cannot remember her name. I want to say it was Coach Hook, but I don't think that's it. Doesn't sound right.
That's a pirate's name.
Hook with a hook.
Yeah.
Hook with a hook. One-legged cheerleading teacher.
And I will have to say,
Patrick Swayze's mother.
Patrick Swayze's mother, Patsy Swayze,
I met her. Yeah.
who influenced me as far as dance is concerned.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, our own Special K did do some dancing with Patrick Swayze when they were both taking dance.
And hasn't acted the same since. I saw that picture. I saw the way he was looking at him. Little pretty boy.
Yeah.
I got to meet him in not Rosenberg. I'm sorry, outside of Sugarland when he had his equestrian center out there.
Patsy,
About a half mile down the street from
Patsy,
Mom's
as a
house.
little girl, we would be in ballet class at the bar, and she was very strict. And she would walk around with this big old black cane, and if you didn't turn your feet out or you were in the wrong position, those of you who know dance, she would whack you across the legs with that cane.
Holy shit.
And she whacked my sister once, and my sister called her a witch, but she thought she said bitch, and Patsy,
smacked her again.
tore her up.
I like to beat her to death with a black cane, yeah.
And you didn't want to mess with her, that's for sure.
Well, and for me,
But she was a great teacher.
Was
as
she?
far
Yeah.
as the dance.
you know, and they were back then. That's back when they grabbed you by the ear and beat your ass if you cut up.
Absolutely.
Ain't it
I
so?
think I was about 8 years old.
My first grade teacher's name was Mrs. Westmoreland at George R. Bean Elementary in Lubbock. And she had red pencils about this long. And it had a brass brad on each end.
Yep.
And if you cut up, she'd walk up behind you. And if you wasn't doing what you're supposed to do, dink, back of the head.
You know, JT, my mother's main name is Westmoreland.
Did she have a box of big red pencils? Say much respect if she did. She's also Dan Blocker's fourth grade teacher.
I'll be darned.
And the
How
reason I
about
know that because my Uncle Bob was in the fourth grade with Dan Blocker. And then they were later, I think, served in the Navy together. So
Yeah. Hoss Cartwright
I was
on
gonna say
Bonanza.
Ponderosa.
Yeah.
yeah, big hoss.
Yeah. Big hoss.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, Coach Wyman, he tore my tail up several times with a paddle, but I deserved every one of them. So
I bet. Seemed to be that way. I know in my latter years in high school, we was living in Amarillo. I was going to Caprock High School in Amarillo. And it was Coach Pybus. who was a Vietnam vet. Very calm, demeanored kind of guy, laid back, nobody to screw with, a little short wire guy. And he was my tennis coach. And he was the neatest guy. I mean, he probably had patience of Job, But if you screwed up, he'd tell you. And you didn't do it again.
In more ways than one,
You didn't do it again. He used to work out when my brother Rick came home. They become friends as well. Rick was going, or actually it was before he left. They become real close friends, started working out together. That's where Rick learned a lot of his jungle warfare moves.
Gotcha.
So that gave me instant respect for both of them.
Well, let's take a look at what you guys had to say, your opinion on who influenced you the most, parent, or rather a teacher, a coach, or some other influential person.
Yeah.
Darlita Macaulay Holland told us it was Emery Cathy who was her favorite teacher, and Robert Wyman was her favorite coach.
Same Coach Wyman?
Yeah, same Coach Wyman.
That you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. He got around. Belinda Tatum said it was Mr. Domsala, her 7th grade math teacher and bus driver at Sharpstown Junior High in Southwest Houston. What a wonderful man. My sister, Deanne, went to Sharpstown.
Really? Well, there you go.
Back about that time, too. So
Margaret Newsom said it was Mrs. Mason, her sophomore English teacher. She always told me that no matter what I go through, I had it within me to achieve great heights in my life.
There you go.
That's what teachers do.
Cindy Gail Roberts Thomas said it was Floyd Rossetter, my homemaking teacher. That was my favorite teacher, and Robert Wyman, once again, was my favorite coach/teacher.
Yeah, a lot of folks from Rains High School wrote in on this one.
Yeah, well, Coach Wyman was a popular cat back then, wasn't he?
He was the head basketball coach and assistant football coach.
Yeah, cool.
He really was. Andy Simmons told us it was his high school coach, Bill Mason. He once told me that even though I was smaller than most of the other players, my heart was as big or bigger than all of them. He made me want to succeed, and I still carry that to this day.
Very well. Randy Rocco said it was Harlan Lampkin, our high school band director, who got me to stay in school and graduate. All other teachers wanted me to drop out of the Paladura High School class of '73. kind of like me, I guess, Randy. They was willing to vote your butt out, huh? And back in '73, Paladura was a rough school.
Yeah,
that's up in Amarillo too. So
yeah.
They had a kick-ass football team.
I'll bet. Liz Tucker Reynolds said it was Paul Macaulay. He got me interested in history and politics. And Jerry Blum says it was Effie Morris, my 4th grade teacher.
Now, there's a classic name, Effie Morris.
Effie, yeah.
Janice Parker said it was Coach Ivan Paris of Putnam City High School. He had a huge impact on my life personally.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people who played athletics, their coaches really did have a big part.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Let's see, Margie Alvarez said it was Mrs. Traylor, her high school math teacher. She often sat down with us kids to discuss life in general. Most of us came from poor families, but she instructed us to be the best we can be, don't accept the norm, and go out and make something of yourself.
There you go. And that's why I love teachers so much. A good teacher will have that effect on anybody.
They really will.
I mean, because, the majority of us from my era, I don't know about yours, but, I mean, we were dirt poor. We didn't even have grass in our yard. We were so damn poor and log. But the good teachers always, the cream rises to the top, and they'll always try to inspire and lead and guide you and bust your ass when mom and dad don't know what you're up to and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Our picking buddy, Judge Chris Wood up Tennessee, said it was Cliff Dodson, his junior high school teacher from 1974 through 1975. He was a Vietnam veteran in Special Forces. He was a very inspiring teach. I'll never forget him.
Well, there you go.
There you go, Judge.
Kind of like the one that you had.
Yeah, Coach Pipers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that he was a tennis player? Probably CIA, and it was just cover.
Yeah, there you go.
I always wondered about that. I always wondered about that.
Just never know. Margaret Sizemore says it was definitely Mr. Woodside, her high school principal. He always took time to stop and talk to you, and if you were having a bad day, he just seemed to know it and would make an effort to cheer you up.
Yeah.
He inspired me, too.
I remember a junior high in Amarillo. James Bowie Junior High. Mr. Sanders, little short, stocky built guy. The only time he'd stop you in the hall was drag your ass to the office and paddle your butt, man. He watched me like a hawk.
I heard that.
Let's see. Brent Hardy told us it was his high school geometry teacher, Ward Roberts. He was an amazing educator.
Well, there you
Wasn't
go.
he on Leave It to Beaver?
Word.
Ward.
Ward. Yeah.
Ward.
June, the Beeve, and Wally.
The Cleaver.
Yep. Let's see. Jerry Williams. Jerry Williamson said it was Coach Robert Wyman, Mrs. Valeria Groves, and Mrs. Audie Shiflett.
There you go.
Yep.
Pepper Elliott says, for me, it was my coach, Andy Simmons, at White House High. He was our girls' basketball coach, and he taught us that hard work would help us accomplish wonderful things on the court and in our private lives. He was right.
Well, there you go. There
Yep,
you go.
Good coach.
Terry Allen Montgomery said it was easy for him. It was Gary L. Beasley. Tammy Quick Kroll piped in and said, I was homeschooled. Well, okay, Tammy.
Well, somebody did a good job on Tammy. She's a pretty sharp cookie.
Yeah, good girl.
Renee Cooper Francie told us it was Mr. Charles Ray at Lake Worth Middle School in 1980. He was the most amazing man. And that's right here on the home turf.
That's right.
Yeah.
And speaking of Renee Cooper Francie, who lives out in Campbell, Texas,
Yeah.
out between Greenville and Commerce, Texas. We used to have a farm out there. Karen and I did.
Yeah.
But Renee, I'm thinking of you because she beat cancer, and now it has
Good girl.
returned, and she is fighting it again. So Renee, my heart's with you, girl.
Hang tough, baby girl.
Yeah, prayers are with you.
You can do it once, you can do it again.
You got this. You got this covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all thinking of you here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Yep.
Mason Reynolds said it was Coughlin, Mr. Coughlin at Midland High, Junior High.
Yeah.
My dad moved us around a lot with his job, and I had trouble making friends. Mr. Coughlin knew this, so he made sure I was personally introduced to a lot of kids. That man was my hero.
You know, Coach Pappas was that way. We left Lubbock in '68. We left Lubbock 66, I guess. Moved to Amarillo. Was in Amarillo about 4 years of junior high and high school, then moved back to Lubbock my junior year, and then for 7 months, and then was transferred, which I was expelled indefinitely from Monterey High School, which like oil and water. I was supposed to go to Lubbock High, but wound up going to school. Dad was doing a lot better in his job, so I went to where the rich kids went, and that just didn't fly. So they transferred us up to Houston, and that's why I'm such a big picture of success today.
The rest is history, as I say.
Houston changed my life for sure. So many bright lights and so many cute girls when I moved up there.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's see. Harold Dixon told us it was two men for him: Weldon Newton of Cross Plains High School and Cecil Elkins of Brownwood High School.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Harold.
Yep.
Jamie Ward said mine was Colonel Dale Burns. He passed away just this past year. I was extremely shy when I started in ROTC. He worked with me on my vocabulary and talking above a whisper. He also taught me to take charge, which he did. So everyone who says I talk too much, you now know who to blame.
Know who to point the finger at now. He taught about to speak up, and nobody can shut him up ever since.
Jamie, I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing well since the loss of Thomas.
I'll tell you what, those Rotsy boys, we used to make fun of them and all that till the first time I got the snot beat out of me by one of them. I learned to respect after that.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Keck said this was difficult for him. There were a couple of NCOs that were awesome, and my fifth grade teacher, Miss Jensen, was incredible. Also, lots of co-teachers I've had throughout the years. And in some cases, I think every school year, somebody's going to touch you. Somebody's going to touch your mind and your heart and
That's true.
And kind of help pave a way for you. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Miles Perry said for him, it was one teacher, Miss Grimes at Johnson Middle School. I had a speech impediment, and all the kids made fun of me. Miss Grimes not only took up for me, but stayed after school to work with me on my speech.
Awesome.
By the next year, I didn't stutter anymore, and it gave me great confidence to this day.
Wow.
I can never thank her enough for what she did.
Had an angel in his pocket, by
Yes,
God.
sir. Yes, sir.
Malaya Palmore Jones said for her it was Coach Galen Taylor.
Yeah, Malia's my daughter, and she is a mathematics teacher
Yep.
and coach over at Keller High School.
Yeah.
And she coaches volleyball, and now she is also coaching B team or junior varsity soccer.
Really?
Yeah, but Malia was
Girls soccer or boys
Girls.
soccer?
Girls.
Cool.
Yeah.
Way to go, man.
And Malia, if you add up over the last 3 years, and she'd never been a coach before, but they asked her if she would take over junior varsity volleyball, which she got a scholarship to play at Dallas Baptist University.
Really? I
in
didn't know
volleyball.
that.
And if you added up all of the victories, she went 1 year undefeated.
Wow.
And I think the next year she lost two games.
Wow.
This past year with a whole new group, I believe it was 4 games they lost the whole year.
Yeah.
But you add it up, she's got about a 895 winning percentage.
So that equals a lot of ribbons and a lot of trophies.
Mm-hmm.
You go, baby girl.
Yes, sir.
You go, baby
Michelle
girl.
Perviance Brown said, I was never a fan of history or social studies, but ironically, my favorite teacher was my sophomore history teacher at Caprott High School. Her name was Mrs. McPherson. She was a good teacher and an awesome person. She always had a smile on her face.
She did. That she did. Susan Saunders told us that for her it was Coach Woods and Miss Valentine at Leonard Middle School. They were the best ever.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
Paula Garrison said for him it was definitely Mrs. Martin, his 5th grade teacher. There's a lot of them who was influenced by 5th grade teachers so far.
Here's an interesting one. Chuck Francie said, I know Grandpa was not a coach, but you're one of the greatest teachers I've ever known. You've personally impacted my life more than you'll ever know. You will always be my mentor. Love you, brother.
Yeah. Love you too, Chuck.
That's enough to melt the peanut butter, by God, right there.
It really is. Chuck's a great friend and Renee Francie's husband.
What did you teach him?
Well, when we were back in the car business,
Yeah.
I taught him the ins and outs of special financing and how to do it honestly. And he never forgot that.
I didn't know there was a way of doing that, honestly.
I did it honestly. I got fired from several jobs because I wouldn't do it dishonest.
That's why Dad was no longer a cop. That's why he retired. There was no room left for honest cops in Lubbock, Texas anymore. So
Wow.
he said later.
Stephen W. Crenshaw said
in
that for
Hawaii,
him, it was his drill instructor at BC.
Yep. He's a good man, old Steve.
Yep.
Did a great job with his kids, too. Charlie George said, well, that's not fair because my kids were homeschooled. Mom and Dad were pretty much it.
Oh, there you go.
And
I mean,
no shame in that, by
no,
God, Charlie.
none. Especially when your parents are your teachers.
My dad was my hero. I wasn't homeschooled unless I did something wrong, and then
Then you got homeschooled.
my butt got homeschooled. yeah, but my dad was my hero. I loved him man to death.
That's great.
He was a wise man.
William J. Riley said, that's easy. It was Coach Tipton Blair in junior high.
Junior high. Okay.
There you go.
Darla Walker said it was Miss Barbara Yankee. She introduced me to reading to escape the reality of my childhood and complimented me on my art and really made me feel special and talented. It's the only self-esteem I ever got as a child.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us, Darla.
She did a good job, Darla.
Yep. Shoshana Henderson said, I had 2 of them. My 4th grade teacher, Mr. Hastings, and my 7th and 8th grade science teacher, Mr. Parker. Both made a huge impact on me and my love of all animals and science.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who's this, JC or Jackie?
Jackie Cohn.
Jackie Cohen told us it was her first real boss, Jim Steffel. I still love and appreciate all he did for a young girl.
Well, there you go. How you doing, Jackie?
Yeah.
Robert Smith said it was his band director, Mr. George Riddell. He was a great father figure and a great man.
There you go. Joe McCauley down in Emory said it was Coach Gerald Centilli and Mr. Holman.
Mr. Holman was the ag teacher who later became the superintendent of Rains High School.
Oh, yeah?
And, you know, quite ironically, when I got into broadcasting, one of my first games that I broadcast was my high school, Rains High School, at Rains High School, and I had Mr. Holman on at halftime.
Yeah?
And interviewed him.
Brought back some memories, huh?
Yeah, kind of like old home week. He
Cool.
was a great man. I'll tell you what.
That's pretty cool.
I had the greatest respect for that man.
Cool.
Other than that, he was just one of the guys, seems like.
Yeah.
Randy Lander said there is more than one, so mine is Gil Sanchez and just about all of my high school staff.
Yeah, and Randy, I guess she's still up in Wyoming. Russell Curlin.
Yeah.
His family.
Yeah.
That's his sister's daughter, Randy. Yep. Looks just like her mama.
Now I can put them together.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job.
Deborah Northcutt McCormack says for her it was Miss Audie Mae Shiflett and Mrs. Tommy Lennon. Leslie Murphy Pruitt also said Mrs. Lennon and Mrs. Emily Robertson.
Yep. A lot of Emory and Rains County people writing in today. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Love having you guys along.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Steve Austin said for him it was Mr. Bill Bullard, my metal trades teacher at Palo Duro High School. And Wiley T. Bryce said it was Coach Eccles Lamar at Snyder Junior High.
Huh, I wonder if cousin Shirley Mills knows who that is. She was raised in Snyder. Melanie Renee Sis said it was her Uncle Jack.
That's me.
And my high school teacher, Coach Bass.
Hi, Mel. I taught Melanie how to shoot a basketball, and she took it from there. Just like my sister, I taught her how to play basketball, and I quit playing against her because she would tear me up. She's 5 years younger than I was. But Mel, hope you're doing well.
See, I never taught Deanne anything because I'm afraid she'd have been better at it than I was. So.
There's no doubt my sister was better than me in basketball.
She wouldn't listen to me anyway. So.
Crawford Young said, well, nearly all of my coaches impacted me as well as my scoutmaster. Of course, I was more impressionable at an early age, so I apologize to my coaches who got me in my later years. Most of my coaches were also my teachers in class. My drafting, wood shop, auto mechanics, ag mechanics, and FFA had a big impact on my life. The horse judging team was cool, and we got 5th in state hung over.
I bet.
I can't imagine what we would have done if we were sober. I also played on 2 football teams that went undefeated, so that's pretty cool.
Where did he go to school, do you know?
I do not know.
Well, he's a local yokel, isn't he? I think.
Well, he's from around here, yeah.
Jennifer Hoopengarner Thomas said, I had 2. Mrs. Rice was my 6th grade language arts teacher. Conjugation and verbs. Oh, my God, I hated that, but she taught me so much. That don't even sound like it's fun, Jennifer.
It doesn't to me either. It just sounds like it's painful.
The other was my youth group director, Reverend Penny Dollar Farmer, who helped me teach about Jesus. Or helped teach me about Jesus, I'm sorry. I still love her to this very day.
Jennifer, we love you here on Grandpa and Pappy. You know, she was the first one to order a T-shirt.
She was.
She sure was.
Did she get it, by the way?
I'm still waiting to give it to her. I have it in my car, Jennifer.
He's got it, Jim.
We've tried 2 or 3 times, but we can't get our schedules together.
Scrub his noggin for not getting it, because I gave it to him about a month ago.
Yes, he did. And I have it waiting for
with
you.
With a bracelet and a
all
refrigerator magnet, too.
And
all them goodies with it, yeah. Randy Northcutt said it was his high school baseball coach, Mike Aston, and his summer league baseball coach, Bobby Dan Spites.
Wow, okay. And our buddy Hunter Quimby, who disagrees every time we say OU sucks, said it was Coach Roberts for him, and Alice Harvey said it was Mrs. McCowan for her.
Oh, Lord.
And the only reason I say that, Hunter, is to get you riled. And besides, it's
he'll rile right back at you. That's a nice thing about it.
He ain't no little guy either. So I kind of.
Hunter's one of my favorite, even though he is an OU fan.
Yeah, and the only reason I say OU sucks because if it didn't, Texas would be
in the Gulf,
out in Louisiana waters. In the Gulf. Yeah.
That's true.
Much respect for OU and what you're all about, though, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come see us sometime.
Well, thank you very much for all of those. I know there's a lot of teachers, coaches, and people that influenced your life.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was nice to get away and take a break from all the politics and all the BS that's been going on for the last few months.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very, very much for sending in.
And I think that part's only just began. So,
yeah, I think so too. So we may not be able to get away from it altogether, but it's nice to take a break every once in a while.
Yeah, we appreciate the heck out of those comments. It's interesting it helps us learn a little bit more about you as well. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, you guys rock.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at some of the viewer comments.
Let us do so.
Dale Franklin said, I probably got in too late to comment on what if Biden were elected. But honestly, guys, it would scare me half to death.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine the chaos it would bring. Here's our buddy.
Here comes a word of wisdom right here.
Yes, sir.
Big Al Baker, our East Texas partner, said, I'll be damn glad when all this political BS is gone. It's not bad enough that I'm already watching the Hallmark Channel with wife Susan, but I'd rather see that than all of the lies and BS being told on the news networks. I agree with you, brother. Maybe we can report on good old-fashioned rat killing. What say you, boys? I'm with you. I'm down.
Well, now, Jack and I are guilty of not watching the Hallmark.
Yeah, that's what I started saying, Big Al. I'm right.
We watched them all day yesterday just to get away from
politics.
All the crap.
Well, we watched. We watched the series sitcom Mom.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Big
Al. Oh, Big Al. I look forward to seeing your comments
what
every time.
Boys?
What you say, boys? A rat killing. I hadn't heard that in a long time.
Yep. I'm with you, brother.
Pedra, I hope I'm saying this right. Pedra Mendez said, I am fearful for my children if the Democrats are declared the big winners in all the races. With all I'm seeing and hearing, they have lost track of what Americans really want, and that is peace, prosperity, and a chance to succeed.
Very well said.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And I'm thinking it's Pedra. Pedra, I hope I said your name correctly. If not, please forgive me.
Yeah, thanks for sending that in, by the way. And last but not least, Mary Pendergrass said, I just watched your show on COVID and schools, and frankly, I'm not going to let my children be fearful of getting sick.
Amen.
Thank you for saying that. I will send them to school and adhere to the regulations, but that is it. We won't live in fear of living. I like that.
That's a great saying.
Thanks for
That's a
sending that in.
great saying. Let me read that again. I will send them to school and adhere to their regulations. But that's it. I won't let them live in fear of living.
That is good
That
stuff
is
right there,
great.
Yeah.
Golly. Mary, thank you very much.
And as always, we appreciate your viewer comments as well as your opinions and
your feedback.
On questions that are asked by you, the listeners. So,
Well, hopefully on Monday we may know who our president is, and then maybe we won't. But we're going to have a little fun. Pappy asked you on our Facebook page to send in your pictures of your Halloween costumes. And even though Halloween's over, we're going to have a little fun with it and take a look at how you guys got crazy. I think Halloween has really become more for the adults.
That's what I'm starting to think. Y'all sent in some great pics of the babies and pictures of yourself.
To get all of them in, so
we're going to get as many as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So anyway, we
stuff,
hope you'll join us on Monday for that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you have a suggestion a comment, or anything like that you'd like to bring to Pappy and I's attention.
Because we are listening, by God.
We always listen.
That's right.
Just send it into our Gmail account at grandpaandpappy@gmail.com.
Yep.
Or
you can send it directly into our show website at www.grandpa, the letter N Pappy, that's grandpaandpappy.com.
Yep.
There you'll see that big red button.
Bam.
Just push that little scudder bill and subscribe.
Last week was our best week as far as new subscribers.
Yeah.
So we would like to see that happen for the coming week. So if you
Absolutely.
haven't subscribed, but you're a member of the Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group,
Yeah.
please go on there and subscribe. Let us know that you're listening.
Yeah. You can also get to our Facebook page from that site as well, or
Yes, you
Twitter
can.
or Instagram or whatever the hell it is we've got. I don't know. Special K hooked us up with a lot of buttons to push, so
Yeah, she did.
you can leave your comments right there as well.
Or
You know,
right
it's
there,
YouTube-
the
YouTube
Grandpa and
driven, by the
Pappy
way.
Show Facebook group,
Yep.
which you can look up and become a member of.
Yep.
And you can see a lot of the opinions that we use right here on this show, because that's where we take them off of, and that's where we ask our questions to you.
You can even see some of the stuff we have to edit out on that page too. So,
Yeah, there's quite a few
which
that I
is
have
pretty
to,
common these days.
I have to edit. That's correct.
All we ask on our Facebook group page is that you respect your fellow members. It's okay to disagree with them. Just don't ridicule anybody or be dirty, or we'll have to push the red button and send you down to the depths of Hades. Facebook Hades, which is right below Facebook jail, by the way.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what kept my silk heated
Well,
up.
we hope you'll join us Monday for a little late Halloween fun. And we hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Please be safe out there and take care of each other.
Yep.
And until then, we always end our show by telling you to hug your kids and let them know you love them.
Just as you should let them know that we love them right here like we do you on the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
We
By
sure
God.
do. And until
That's
then,
a fact.
we tell you to have a good weekend.
Take care of one another.
And may your favorite team win.
Yeah.
And we will see you back on Monday. Till then, bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good weekend, everybody.